Alright YouTube, for this vlog has been in my mind for a while. No script, no art, but I'm really excited to talk about it because I'll be talking about my favorite Star Wars deleted scenes because I've been on a little bit of a mini rabbit hole of going down movie deleted scenes, and a lot of them throughout the Star Wars movies were really cool. Unfortunately, I don't know of any throughout the Star Wars series nor the sequel trilogy except for episode 7, but fact check me in the comments if you know if there are any other deleted scenes from the sequel trilogy or even The Mandalorian and Grogu, Rogue One, Solo. So let's dive in, starting with where it all began, which, by the way, 50 years next year since A New Hope. So A New Hope, the deleted scenes that I remember were the scene of Luke and his friend Biggs, which was a really cool scene. I can understand why they didn't put it in the movie because it may have been like, a little bit of sort of a plot that didn't really go too far, but I still think it's really cool and adds a little bit of depth to Luke's already really cool character. So overall, I think it could have been cool to see in the movie, but it makes sense why they didn't go with it, but glad it exists. So next up, from The Empire Strikes Back, this is the one deleted scene I remember, and it was with the Wampa animal thing going crazy in the Echo base. I see why they didn't put it in because, I feel like at least back in 1980, the less we saw of the Wampa, the more intimidating it was. The special edition is still cool because it's still cool to see like how the Wampa's character was created, and I would still love to see like a Wampa Star Wars horror project, since apparently we're getting a Star Wars horror project down the line, which is really cool. So overall, I see why they didn't put it in because it is a little over the top and, didn't really go anywhere to the plot, but overall, still cool nonetheless. So next up, we have my favorite deleted scene from the Star Wars movies altogether is in Return of the Jedi when Luke has his lightsaber and he's switching between the green and red as Darth Vader is force signaling him through his head. So overall, the scene is incredible. I think, goes without saying what it means, but in case you're new here, I'll go into what it means. It's obviously like Luke in a little conflict between the light and the dark side, but of course he ends up going with green, and that's good. So next up, another deleted scene I remember from the Return of the Jedi was the scene when the characters get back to the Millennium Falcon after escaping Jabba's sail barge, and it's a sandstorm. It is cool, but yeah, really cool actually, because from the scenes I've seen in the movie and on YouTube, it's like not finished, but looks really cool nonetheless, and the audio is choppy, but still great scene nonetheless. And yeah, the last Return of the Jedi scene that I remember was when that Imperial Guard who Vader told him he wasn't as forgiving as the Empire tells Vader he may not enter, which Vader is not happy about, so he mini force chokes him, and then he later clarifies that it was the command of the Empire, and Vader's like, yeah, my bad, dude. So overall, I see why they didn't keep it, but still interesting nonetheless, especially seeing Palpatine's advisors, who are obviously sick, evil people. So next up, from The Phantom Menace, we have a scene when Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Jar Jar Binks get out of the water through the little ship thing, which was a really cool scene. Although The Phantom Menace is a little bit of a hit or miss movie for me, that scene is incredible. So what happens is they, shoot like a grapple hook because the boat or ship rather is about to fall off a waterfall. So it's cool to see, the master and apprentice try to do the tightrope and swim to across it, and of course Jar Jar being Jar Jar, but still a funny scene and cool nonetheless. So overall, I see why they didn't keep it, I guess, but could have been interesting nonetheless. So this next scene I really like from The Phantom Menace. It's when young Anakin and Qui-Gon are escaping, or leaving rather, Tatooine. We see a probe droid comes towards them and Qui-Gon slashes it, and then it explains why in The Phantom Menace why Qui-Gon and Anakin were running when there didn't appear to be a threat, and then we all know what happens next. Darth Maul comes in and almost runs over little Anakin Skywalker, and then Qui-Gon and Maul duel a little bit. So overall, I think this scene would have made a lot more sense to leave in. So yeah, now we know why they were running, but not that I really cared that they were running, even if it was for no reason, but makes sense. So these two scenes from episode 2, one of them is when Anakin goes to Padme's house and meets her family, which gives a lot of cool depth to the type of person and character Padme is, as well as her goals and achievements throughout life, and it was really funny to see Anakin interact with Padme's sisters. So yeah, that scene would have been really good in the movie. The next scene I remember was, I don't remember exactly what happened, but we see like Obi-Wan's little starfighter with R4, and that was really cool. So overall, it didn't really add much, but it was still like really cool to see R4 and that other angle of the Jedi Temple. So as we all know, there's of course the 4.5-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith, which, a lot of movies apparently are like 4 hours in initial progress. So like, yeah, we're not probably going to see everything that came from the movie. Not that I mind, but one deleted scene I remember really liking, but feeling like it may not have made too much sense, was when General Grievous kills Shaak Ti, whose death is like confusing in the canon, if it's Anakin, if it's Grievous, if it's off screen, but I think this would have made more sense because it shows that Grievous is not a complete wimp in Revenge of the Sith, at least not when he first starts out. So him killing a Jedi would have been really cool, and we later see Obi-Wan and Anakin go through the sewers, or the whatever we call it, of the ship, which is really interesting to see. The scene is of course unfinished, so we still see like the little hooks, which honestly I don't mind because it's cool to see that, you know, how these movies are made. And then Anakin, you know, the things blow up in the little power outage with the sewer, so then Anakin seals it up, and Obi-Wan tells him he has much to learn because it won't hold, but turns out it holds. And there are of course many other deleted scenes from Revenge of the Sith, such as the scenes of the rebellion, talking about how Palpatine's moves to take over the Empire, or galactic world rather, so that would have been really cool to keep. Last but not least, we have the Force Awakens scene where the character from, I don't remember exactly his name, but he was from Jakku. He was the one trying to buy BB-8 off Rey, and then, you know, he later is found at Maz Kanata's castle, which is essentially the Mos Eisley Cantina of Episode 7, and then Chewbacca rips his arms off, which was very grotesque. Not too grotesque, really, but yeah, it would have been cool to keep that in. So overall, these are Star Wars deleted scenes that I remember. Probably more that I forgot, but thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more vlogs soon. Goodbye.